Apparently, democracies die when we give a platform to both sides of the conversation. Apparently, democracies die when we allow free speech. Is that really how it works? Because I'm pretty sure that's how. I'm pretty sure democracies die when we actually don't allow both sides and don't allow free speech and only platform people that we like. Welcome back to Saving the Republic with Joe Staten, presented by Grab Your Gear Network, where we speak to people who actually get up and go to work every day and don't just sit on their butt and scroll on their phone. So if you're in that population, this show and this network is for you. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel and other social media pages for all other types of content, including military content, outdoors, prep content, anything you could be interested in. We probably have something for you, so be sure to check out the other channels. Now, today's show, we have a couple major stories, and this comes in the heat of the 2024 presidential election. We had a strike on the leader of Hamas, which was in Iran last night, seemingly by Israel, and we're going to get into the details of that and who's claiming responsibility and who's not. But the first story I wanted to start off with today was something with President Trump. Now, if you guys saw anything on Twitter today or followed the news, you probably saw clips of former President Donald Trump at an event for the National Association of Black Journalists. They had an event where they were hosting former President Trump. They also invited Kamala Harris, and she declined the invitation, interestingly enough. But President Trump had the guts to go ahead and go into what he did not know, or maybe did know, the Lion's Den, and answered some pretty tough questions. And the media has been flipping out on this. Former President Trump made a couple comments. He raised the fact that Kamala Harris used to proudly proclaim her Indian heritage and did not mention being an African-American woman much. And she also proclaimed her Eastern Asian heritage when she was in California. So he was basically saying she selectively chose her race when it was convenient to her, and now she's claiming to be a black woman, and people flipped out about it. But the reporter who welcomed President Trump into that event was just straight up nasty. There's no other way of putting it, and he responded in a pretty funny way. Check it out.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
now, something I want to point out to you guys is just the reaction of the crowd. This is something you're not going to hear from the mainstream media outlets or many people reacting on social media, is the reaction of the crowd, because seemingly the crowd is in support of the former president, which is really interesting because I don't think this crowd overall is favorable to him. Even if you look at the statistics on President Trump and his support within the black population, which I'm going to show you here in a few seconds, is probably about 25% in that room. So he has 3/4 of the room probably against him or not voting for him, and they still had this reaction. So pay attention to that.
I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President.
Okay, so a couple things there. The former president is saying that Kamala Harris was invited, did not show up. They invited him under the pretense that she would be there, and then all of a sudden he shows up and she's not coming. So it's really convenient for them, and then they want to treat him hostile when he shows up. And this appearance by President Trump definitely garnered some mixed reactions online. And one of the most shocking comments I've seen online about this event was from somebody called Amara Jones. And this person is apparently a transgender journalist who is associated with the NABJ, and take a look at what she had to say, or he or she. I don't know what the correct gender is, but check out what they had to say.
As journalists, we often tend to think that, we've been taught actually, that the way that we deal with the truth is to tell two sides of one story and to walk away. But we know sometimes the truth doesn't have a side. Sometimes the truth has 9 sides. Sometimes the truth takes no side. And our job is to be bold enough and brave enough to go against our training oftentimes, to tell the truth that we know, and to trust and believe that the audiences that we serve are smart enough, have the courage enough to judge whether or not, in the end, we are right or wrong.
So I want you to take what she just said and keep it in mind and just judge for yourself and witness the cognitive dissonance required to make a tweet that is right after what she just said on video. Like, check out what she tweeted. She says, "When I accepted my NABJ Journalist of Distinction Award in 2022, I said that we have to resist our training, which says that the truth always has 2 sides. Platforming Donald Trump at a professional event today does not show even-handedness. It shows how democracies die." So apparently democracies die when we give a platform to both sides of the conversation. Apparently democracies die when we allow free speech. Is that really how it works? Because I'm pretty sure that's how. I'm pretty sure democracies die when we actually don't allow both sides and don't allow free speech and only platform people that we like. Very draconian, very Marxist-like to say something like that. But these people don't understand it, okay? The problem is that people like Amara Jones, whatever their respective gender is, they don't understand the ideological underpinnings to the statements they're making. This person is making clearly Marxist statements. This person is saying, let's have one side of the conversation. This person is saying, let's not platform the person I disagree with. And honestly, it's kind of upsetting to me because these people are the same people who end up encouraging and cultivating the rhetoric that has led to some of the political violence that we're seeing. These people are the people who are dehumanizing the other side of the political discussion. And while I don't think it's not inevitable, or excuse me, while I think it is inevitable for the political discussion in this country to eventually get to a point where we are forced to recognize that the other side ultimately has such moral differences than us, that something's going to have to take place in terms of finding some common ground. But with that being said, I still think this is very irresponsible. I think it shows just the level of ignorance, the level of cognitive dissonance required to have a position like this. I can't believe people have a platform who are, quote, respected, who are openly calling for one side of the conversation to be shut down. It's just amazing to me. It's just amazing. So what do you guys think down below? Let me know what you think, if you agree on that. Should we platform both sides? I think we should platform everybody. Why not? Let's have the discussion. Let's have the conversation. I don't know why we're so scared to have that conversation. Now, something interesting as well with this Kamala Harris Indian story, which is getting a lot of the attention in terms of President Trump's appearance at this event, is if you take a look at what she's actually said in the past, she has openly said that she is an Indian American. So let's take a look at a clip that's getting a lot of heat here on Twitter and respond.
Right behind us here on the video board, we've been seeing a number of headlines, articles showing that Kamala Harris was first sworn in as one of the first Indian American senators, and a number of headlines that speak to her Indian, South Asian history, or heritage background anyways.
So this guy, Aaron Rupert, quotes this video and says, wow, Newsmax reporter says that they were displaying this video that Kamala was sworn in as one of the first Indian American senators. They're really focusing on the campaign on racist smears. Yeah, I've seen this guy tweet a lot of ignorant things today, and he's just another example of somebody who, he basically was raised in a world where his views were bubble wrapped and insulated from any sort of criticism. He was raised in a school system that solidified and preached his viewpoints on the left. He was raised through a college probably who continued to just double down and insulate him from any sort of viewpoint that he disagrees with, so that when he's finally confronted with something that actually disagrees with his viewpoint, he's so insulated, he's been such bubble wrapped from any sort of criticism that he overreacts with such infamy and anger and saying, oh, we have to resort to racist smears. Guess what, Aaron Rupert? It's not a racist smear to say she openly claims she was an Indian American senator. She openly claimed this on her own record. She is on record saying these things to get elected, and all of a sudden when it's convenient to switch up her race or what she claims is her race, she's doing it. That's not a racist smear. That's common sense. And so it's always just made me laugh internally when I see people like this. It just makes me realize, it's like, wow, this person really is so insulated and so protected. Their viewpoints are so protected. They never tested their own viewpoints. Isn't that why we have political commentary? Isn't that why we have freedom of speech in this country, to be able to question and test out and check the depth of our own viewpoints against others so that we are more solidified and we understand that we have the correct viewpoint? I would encourage Aaron and others, like this person, to test the rigor of your own viewpoints, because it clearly shows you don't understand what you're talking about when you say things like that. So a lot of criticism from Trump's appearance, made some comments that got some attention, but this does not really even compare, in my opinion, to the story I saw last night, which was that the Hamas leader, let's see if I can pronounce his name correctly here, Ismail Haniyeh, was killed last night, assassinated in Iran. And this was performed, people believe it was performed by Israel. And actually, if you take a look at Benjamin Netanyahu's comments on this issue, it actually leads you to believe that Israel probably did commit it. He said that we are going to have some very challenging days ahead of us. Kind of made a cryptic comment and definitely did not deny involvement. So I really am pretty sure that it was Israel. But what's interesting about this is that the United States is denying any sort of involvement. If you look at what Secretary of State Blinken said, this is something we were not aware of or involved in, said, and he would not speculate on the impact of this on ceasefire agreements. Now, I would not be surprised if the United States was aware of this. I would not be surprised, as we all know, that Prime Minister Netanyahu stopped in the United States last week to talk with former President Trump and Kamala Harris. And it would not surprise me if the United States was aware of this. Now, does that mean that Iran is going to take that any sort of way because they're upset that we knew about it and we didn't do anything about it, didn't notify them? Who knows? I think it's a growing concern in the United States that there are sleeper cells potentially that have come through the southern border. And really, when you think about it like this, why would a country who literally chants death to America, Iran, whose leadership regime is quite literally infiltrated with terrorists that want to kill and take away our way of life here in the United States of America, why would that country not take advantage of an open border? Why would that country not send in operatives who will do damage to our way of life? It would almost be counterintuitive, or it would almost be illogical if they did not do that. So I think the most simple thing to assume, Occam's razor, is that they have done that. They have sent people in, and it's just a matter of time, or God willing, our intelligence agencies are able to track these people down and prevent things from happening. But again, I think it's just a matter of time, unfortunately, until something happens. And again, we run the risk of triggering that or encouraging it if we respond. But it's not to say that we shouldn't respond, because obviously the United States has a clear role to defend Israel in the Middle East. Agree with it or not, Israel is one of our strongest allies, and that's who we have agreed to defend over in that area. So it's just interesting to see Iran vowed to respond today, claiming that they will respond in a very severe way. So let's keep our eyes peeled on what happens with that. I'll be following that story in the coming days and weeks. Hopefully nothing too crazy ensues, though, in the coming days. Now, the last story of today is going to be something really, really funny I saw. Funny depending on who you ask, I guess. But check out this welcome that an illegal immigrant got when they were coming into the United States.
What the fuck? I didn't even mean to record that. I'm trying to record them jumping off the cliff.
That's where our taxes are going. Yeah! Fuck the fuck anymore!
Woo! Welcome to America. Welcome!
Yeah, you part of the
You
problem.
made it!
Isn't it sad that this has become a joke to laugh and chant, woo, you made it into the United States? Like, you're literally getting dropped off by a jet ski. This person was recording people jumping off a cliff, splashing into the ocean, and she finds somebody pulling up on a jet ski and dropping him off like he's dropping him off at the grocery store or something into our country. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. And it's just sad to see this. It's just sad. Like, Any country who respects himself will have a border. Any country that respects themselves will enforce it. And it's just a simple matter of fact that that's the case. And it's just, again, sad to see what's happening at our southern border. So let me know what you guys think down below about this whole incident. Let me know what you think down below about the incident with Trump today at the National Association of Black Journalists. And let me know what you think about the strike on the Hamas leader in Iran. Will this lead to a potential war in the Middle East? Will it warrant a response from Iran or Israel? Let us know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching Saving the Republic with Joe Staten. Again, we were presented by Grab Your Gear Network, speaking to trades workers and those who work hard every single day and don't just sit on their butt scrolling the phone. So if that's you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like in the video, and I will see you next time. Peace.